Hi, I'm Bill the Geek, broadcasting not live from Chapala, Mexico. Are you looking for a doctor in Puerto Vallarta? Or were you looking for doctors, Puerto Vallarta? Are you visiting Puerto Vallarta and you were thinking about COVID, Puerto Vallarta? Were you thinking about the COVID in Mexico today? If you answered yes to any of those questions, this is the video you want to see. Today we're going to interview Dr. Jimenez. His first name is Aurelio, and I talk about him frequently. This is Teresa, my wife's son-in-law, and he's a doctor in Puerto Vallarta. Almost all of his business has been COVID for like the last 18 months. And he's going to talk about his business. He's one of the few doctors that I know of that only makes house calls. You call him up, he goes to your house, he visits people 24 hours a day. He's going to talk about his business. And then at the very end of the video, he's going to talk about the current situation of COVID in Puerto Vallarta. You really want to watch the very end of the video because he talks about hospital cost if you get COVID in Vallarta and what your options are. And the dollar figures are amazing. You really want to watch the end of the video. And through the video, he's going to talk about what they're doing to bring COVID down and how full are the hospitals in Puerto Vallarta. So watch the whole video and you're going to learn a lot, especially if you plan on visiting Puerto Vallarta. We go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. We have about 70 people that show up from all over the world, and we talk about living in Mexico, immigration to Mexico, renting property in Mexico, owning homes in Mexico. It's all there. So hit the subscribe button so you get notified when we go live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. Good morning, doctor. How are you doing this morning?
Very good, Bill. And you?
Very good, very good. And can you give us your full name and tell me where you are located?
Okay, I am the doctor. My full name is Jose Aurelio Jimenez Martinez, but you can call me Aurelio or Aurelio Jimenez. It's very good for me. And I am located in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco.
And how long have you been a doctor in Puerto Vallarta?
I think since 2017.
Okay. So, and what kind of doctor are you?
I am a general practitioner or something like a family doctor.
Okay. So who are your patients? What people come to you?
Oh, I can see every patient, any patient, for example, kids, babies, older, all the ages. I can see the patients. The good thing about my practice is that I have the knowledge to treat and guide the people in any moment of their life, and we know maybe restrictions, but I know that I don't have all the knowledge, and if you need something else, my work is to guide you to reach the perfect doctor for you in any time of your life.
Okay. Now, we're going to have a link to your website. It's Doctors at Home. And so you actually go to the homes of your clients.
Yes, that's the point of the business, to bring the medical service to the patients who can't leave the house or people who doesn't want to leave their houses because it's more comfortable to have a doctor in your home than in a hospital that you need to wait in a waiting room with full of people. And now with the sick people, it's better if the doctor can be in your home with no problems or with no risk of another people.
Okay. And can you tell us what that's like? I mean, I don't know of any doctors that do that. I mean, when I was a very young, doctors used to come to your house, but I don't know of any doctors that go to your house anymore. Are you the only one that does this?
I don't know if some hospitals have the service, has the service, but mm, it's not common. And when I started this in 2017, I started thinking that in United States, in Canada, you are familiarized with this service all the time. In my mind, it's in United States, the doctors goes to the house every day. There is a common practice. But when I start this, talking with the patients like you, they say, no, doctor, only when I was a kid, the doctors comes to your house. Right now, it's very difficult to reach a doctor. Even in an office, you need to wait maybe 1 month for an appointment. And here in Puerto Vallarta, we have more people who do this, but it's, I don't know. I like to think that I was one of the first who make this in a big scale, because I started to make more advertisings, and because a lot of doctors make the service when you have time. Um, if you know a doctor for a long time, maybe you have this confidence about to talk to the doctor and say, doctor, I need you here in my house. Can you come in? It's maybe a friendship that he can say, yes, I can be in your home, but it's not the general practice. Okay. For me, that's my general practice. Even when they ask, you have an office doctor that I can visit you, and I say, no, my practice is visit you.
Very good. And uh, how do people find you? Uh, 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 yeah, how do people find you so that they know that they can call you and you can come to their house?
Um, Mostly it's in Google. I One of my first goals, I don't know if it's the correct word, but when I started with this, someone named Bill the Geek told me about something SEO, and I started to make my own SEO for my web page, and I put my page in the first pages of the Google search, and I put it in the skin of the patients. I imagine someone in maybe in a hotel room or in a condo in a villa, taking the phone and say, doctors nearby me, or doctor at home in Puerto Vallarta. And I use that keywords to put my info in the first places. And I noticed that no one's have this niche. I don't know if it's the correct word, niche, but in Google, if you try to find doctor who came to your home in Puerto Vallarta, I think I am the only one who appears in the first pages. You can see a lot of other pages who say doctors in Puerto Vallarta, the best doctors in Puerto Vallarta, but no one say doctor who goes to your home. And that's the first or the best way to my patients find me in Google. Another, it's in Facebook. I have something like a good relationship with the groups of expats and people who live in Puerto Vallarta, and Mexicans too, and they look in Facebook my info, and they say, oh, this is a doctor who goes to your home. Let me save the contact, or they found me when they need it.
Okay, so if I call you, if I'm in Puerto Vallarta and I call you today, you can come out to my house today.
Yes, usually that's the procedure. You can contact me in that moment, and right now it's a lot of work, but in the same day you will have a doctor in your home.
Okay, and you can come to somebody's house all the time, day or night?
Yes, day or night. We can, if it's not me, I have another group of doctors who works with me, And for example, right now with this, a lot of work with that we have. I am sending doctors for the appointments or for another services. When I don't have time, I can send another one, but we try to cover the 24 hours of the day.
Okay. And when you go to somebody's house, why do they usually, what is their problem? Most of the time, do they have the flu? Or are they a little sick? Or they fell down? What problems do you run into with your patients?
The most common it's diarrhea. Vomiting and diarrhea, it's the most common because it's I think it's the most disabling. I don't know if it's the correct word.
Yes,
Disabling.
that's good. That's good.
Excellent. Disabling disease because they say, doctor, I can left the bathroom for 5 minutes because I need to go again and again and again. They say, I want to go to the doctor, but I can't take a cab. I can't take, they are throwing up, and it's for them it's like, I need a doctor who comes here because I need a bathroom nearby to me. And that's it's one of the most common diseases, diarrhea. Or another one, it's the flu. It's another thing, common cold, sore throat, mostly caused by the air conditioners because we use them a lot here in Puerto Vallarta, and that causes a little bit of sore throat, and that's why they call me sore throat or a little bit of runny nose, something like that. And another things, accidents on the beach. For example, sea urchin stings or stingray stings, something like that.
Wow, stingray stings, or I think they call them jellyfish. Jellyfish sting you on the beach?
Oh yeah, it's another common, the jellyfish.
That's kind of funny. What do you do for that?
It's very easy, the treatment. For example, for the jellyfish, the in the tentacles, the jellyfish have some toxins who are made from proteins that make the urchin the urchin sensitive, the sensitive of the skin, the this the when you feel itchy, okay, a lot of itchiness, a lot of pain. The guidelines say you need heat, okay. If you put hot water on that lesion, you will destroy the proteins who cause, or the toxins, and that will relieve a little bit of the pain. uh, but you will need, for example, another treatments like anti-inflammatories or steroids in cream to help with that problem. A tip: if you are on the beach, and you are an encounter with a jellyfish and you have the tentacles on your skin, usually it's in the, or it's in the abdomen or the legs, try to use running water to clean the tentacles, or use sand, okay. Because if you try to put it out with your hands, you will injure your hands, okay, because you will touch the tentacles, and you don't want to touch the tentacles. Even if you want to help someone to have an encounter with a jellyfish, use sand or running water. Or uh, another common treatment, it's use the urine, okay. Someone can pee on you to 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 put it out, or to 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 use that running pee, that running urine, to remove the tentacles, okay. That's another, but I don't remember seeing that, but it's something that you can read in the books.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay, Doc. Now, how is the COVID situation in Puerto Vallarta? I understand that now it's everyone must wear a mask wherever they go. I mean, uh, do you run into, have you seen any COVID patients?
Oh yes, a lot. And the last or maybe 4 weeks ago, we have another peak of the pandemic here in Puerto Vallarta, and was terrible. Okay, the hospitals was full. I had a lot of calls for patients who needed the doctor. Mostly of them need oxygen or something more appropriate that you can appropriate for a hospital treatment, not an at-home treatment. Um, the good news, it was not too deadly because mostly of the patients was young. But the problem here, and something that we need to understand with the COVID, it's all the hospitals was full. Okay, if you have had a heart attack in that moment, you will not reach a hospital for you because everyone all the hospitals are taken by the COVID patients, and that's the risky part on this and this moment of the pandemic. It's not the COVID by itself. It's the problem who can cause the COVID on the health system. And here in Puerto Vallarta, we don't have a very good health system or a strong health system because we don't have too much beds, too much rooms. And if we are full of COVID patients, we don't have time to see another patients. Right now, the good news is I am talking with I talked yesterday with my friends, and they work in hospitals, private hospitals, and public hospitals, and they say they are not seeing too much people with COVID right now. Even in my practice right now, maybe I had 2 weeks without a COVID patient who called me. That means that everything is very good right now, but we are in the beginning of the autumn and winter, and we are expecting a new peak in maybe in November, December. Okay, and that's why we need to be prepared for that. Stay in the best shape possible to avoid any disease. Okay.
Okay. Uh, Now, okay, this is September, so in October, the tourists are starting to come back. Are the cruise ships starting to come back to Vallarta? Are you,
Yes.
are they expecting a lot of tourists this year? And do tourists wear masks? Do they know that they need to wear masks? How does that go?
Mm, for example, I visit a lot of villas because I am doing COVID testing at home for travelers, and I don't see too much face mask. Okay, maybe they feel comfortable in their villa, and they say we don't need the face mask in our hotel room in our condo. That's okay. In the streets, you can see a lot of expats and everything, and tourists who wear masks. Okay, that's very good. The good thing is almost all the people who visit Vallarta right now and tourists are vaccinated. Okay, I always ask my patients when I saw a patient, and they say they are vaccinated with 2 shots or 1 shot if it's the Johnson and Johnson, but usually they are fully vaccinated and they are wearing masks. It's very important to continue that because with that last peak 4 weeks ago, uh, a lot of people get sick with the vaccine and they don't understand why because they say I have my vaccine and that's supposed to protect me. And we need to understand that the vaccine protects you from dying for COVID, okay? Not to get the COVID or not to get sick. But here it's maybe 90% of the tourists are using face masks, no problem. The only problem is the restaurants or the infrastructure here in Puerto Vallarta. Restaurants, bars, and everything, they are relaxing these restrictions, and you can see full restaurants, full bars, and that is one of the part of the problem right now with the COVID thing. I mean, that would be a huge part in the next COVID peak in November, December.
Okay. So if you're visiting Puerto Vallarta, uh, what do you do not to get COVID? What is the best thing to do? I mean, you're on vacation, you're visiting. What do you suggest to people to be safe?
Okay, the best suggestion is stay at your condo or villa the most mostly of the time, okay? Or if you will make a trip or some activity outside, try to go something that you can be with your own people. For example, a boat trip, okay, with your own people, with no these big boat trips when you can meet a lot of people. It's funny, it's fun, but right now it's not the moment. If you can make something with your people in your villa or in a boat or in the beach in a big beach that you can stay with your own people, that's very good. Try to avoid restaurants, try to avoid bars, try to avoid discotheques in the nights, because that is the point that you can find more more risk to get COVID in Puerto Vallarta.
Okay. Are people dying when people go to the hospital? The hospitals are full. Are people dying, or were people dying, or have people stopped dying? Now they're just sick and in the hospital on ventilators.
Mm, people are okay. There is something that we need to understand about the hospital and the ventilators. Um, when a patient needs an assistance to breathe, that means that patient needs it's complicated, okay? Or it's the worst patient possible, and the fan only try uh, to to buy time to your body to fight the COVID, okay? Uh, the COVID is a disease that you can eliminate of your body without assistance, okay? You don't need any medicine to to heal the COVID. Your body will kill all these infected cells and everything. But in that in that time, or maybe that will take too much time, and your body need to hold all all this time to to recover. Okay. Right now, the good thing is, in mostly in the United States, the people are vaccinated. Here in Puerto Vallarta, we are starting to get vaccinated more and more. For example, these days, maybe today or tomorrow, I will go for my second shot of the AstraZeneca, and that are saving lives right now. Okay, the vaccine, it's the best thing that you can do to fight the COVID, because maybe you can have the COVID, you can have the disease, but you will not die. And you will not need a ventilator. You will not need a hospitals. Okay, that's the point. And now the people who have a ventilator, a fan, or assistant to breathe, maybe 1/3 of the patients dying, okay, are dying from the COVID if they have a fan right now, okay. But the good news is less and less patients need that assistance.
Okay. Okay. So you've shared a lot of information with us today, this morning, and we thank you, Doctor. What didn't I ask you that I should have asked you about your business or about COVID?
Hmm. Okay, maybe something about this information about COVID, okay, about the treatments of the COVID. There is too much misinformation. I don't know if it's the word,
Yes,
but
yes, that's the word. That's the word.
okay. Uh, there is a lot of treatments who in the beginning started with what was using in the beginning of the pandemic, like azithromycin, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, dexamethasone. There's a lot of medicines in the beginning we think that helps for the COVID, and now we know that doesn't help. Azithromycin, ivermectin, and hydroxychloroquine, the studies right now say that doesn't help, or if helps, it's there is some studies who say it helps, and other studies who say doesn't helps nothing. That's why we don't recommend that right now. Another treatments, for example, it's dexamethasone. The dexamethasone, it's an steroid and corticosteroid but it's very, very good for inflammation. Okay, that it's a lifesaver right now for the people who need assistance to breathe, or a ventilatory assistance. It's a very good medicine, but we need to understand that you need to use that medicine in one point of the disease. If you use in another point of the disease, it can be contradictory. Okay, for example, something to put in context, the COVID have 3 stages. Okay, the first stage is the spreading stage. Okay, the COVID get inside of you, maybe for the nose, and start to infect more cells. Okay, in the nose, in the throat, in the lungs. Okay, maybe that take for a few days, and after that start the second stage, is the inflammation. Okay, you will start with the inflammatory stage. Your body recognize who have an infection and start to killing the cells who have the virus. Okay, that make a lot of inflammation, that make the headaches, that make the fever, that make all the joint pain and everything. And the third phase, or the third stage, it's the recovery phase. Your body kills almost all the cells with the virus and start to produce more and more cells to recover that cells. The dexamethasone, it's very good because it stops the inflammation in the inflammatory stage. Okay, and we know right now that you need to start with the dexamethasone in that stage if the patients need oxygen. Okay, if the patient doesn't need oxygen, that means the patient is very good, he don't need nothing. Okay, but if you use the dexamethasone in the first stage, when you have your first COVID test positive and you only have a slightly headache, a little bit of fever, nothing too bad, you will stop the immune system. The dexamethasone, it's an immune depressant who can stop the immune system. You need the best immune system in that moment, because if your immune system it's able to recognize the virus when get inside your nose, you will stop the virus in your nose. Okay, not in your lungs. And that's the difference between a good patient with COVID, a bad patient with COVID. If you stop the virus in your lungs, your body will, or your immune system will kill a lot of cells of your lungs, and that causes all the problems on the COVID. Okay, you need oxygen because your lungs are injured and you need a lot of things. That's why when we saw a patient with COVID who need oxygen, you can start the dexamethasone in that moment, because you know the body is killing itself, killing the cells of the lungs itself, and you need to stop that. Okay, that's why when you have COVID here in Mexico or in any part, and you have maybe a little bit of runny nose, headache, a little bit of fever, and you go to the doctor, and the doctor wants to give you a full list of azithromycin, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, dexamethasone, a lot of drugs. Don't do that. Okay, you need to know that it's in COVID, less is better. Okay, because you don't need all of that medicines, and maybe can make you worse. For example, another thing quickly, the dexamethasone, if you use in the first stages of the disease, you can increase the mortality 20%. Okay, if you use in the correct stage and the inflammatory stage, you can reduce the mortality 30%. Okay, that's the difference on a medicine that you can use in different, or that you need to use in a specific point of the disease, because if you use it in the beginning, you will make more problems for the patient. And I saw in this last peak a lot of patients like that, who started with a mild disease, no problems, started with the treatment, and after 1 week they need oxygen, they need a hospital, they need everything, because it's a misunderstanding or misinformation between doctors too, who they doesn't know about how to treat the COVID in these stages. They think they only need to use all the medicines to heal the people, but no, you don't need that. Okay, it's another information that you need to know. It's about which treatment works and which treatment doesn't works. Okay.
All right, doctor. Well, we want to thank you very much. I do have another question. Uh,
Yeah.
um, if you're a tourist, okay, you say the hospitals are full. Who are in the hospital? Are they Americans, Canadians, and Mexicans, or does one group? Are there more numbers of one group in the hospital than other groups?
Mm, uh, for ex- for example, in private hospitals, you will find more Americans and Canadians than Mexicans. Uh, in a public health system, you will find a lot of Mexicans and not too much Americans. Uh, the bad news or the bad thing about this is uh, the hospitals are too expensive. If you will visit, there's another thing that you need to consider. When you came to Puerto Vallarta, you need to have a very good insurance, okay? Because I saw a lot of people who have problems and have more problems for the hospital bill than the disease, okay? Uh, you need to find a very good insurance company who can give you the best. Mm, I don't know how to say this, but it's the best plan possible because I know exist two types of insurance. And one, you need to pay all your bill, and after that they will make a refund, yeah, a
A
reimburse,
refund. A refund.
refund. Okay, they will
Okay.
make that, but you need to understand that in the beginning you will need maybe 1,000, no, 100,000 of pesos or more, or 400,000 pesos or more in the beginning to be treated in case of the COVID. It's all the numbers that the hospitals are making in a COVID patient. You need that money at that moment to be treated. Okay, another option, the best option for me, it's an insurance who can cover everything in the moment that you reach the hospital. Okay, if you say to any hospital, I have this insurance, and they will say, okay, that insurance will cover everything, you don't need to pay nothing right now. That's the best because you will not be worried about to have enough cash or enough space on your credit card. That's the best thing that you can do in Mexico. Have the best insurance company possible.
Wow. So 100,000 pesos. I know I heard that if you go in to a hospital, a private hospital with a ventilator, here in Chapala, it would cost 150,000 pesos, which is about $8,000. But you're saying maybe it would be 400,000 pesos, which is about $25,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's too much money, and it's the problem right now. Too much people are dying from COVID, not for the COVID itself, or no, because they don't have a hospital, because they can't pay the hospital. Okay, that's another thing. That's why even I had a patient maybe 5 weeks ago who had COVID, who need oxygen, and I suggest you need the hospital because you will need tests and everything. And when I ask, I call the hospitals, I help the patient with the hospitals, and the hospitals say, doctor, we don't have space, don't send your patient. And even if you will send the patient and we have space, he will need this 200,000 pesos in the beginning. Okay, for them was more easy to ask for a helicopter who bring who take the patient in Puerto Vallarta and bring them to United States. For them was more easy that than reach a hospital. Okay, that's why we need to imagine this. It's for people. It's more easy to make a trip in helicopter to United States instead to stay in Mexico to be treated.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you, doctor. And folks that are watching, we have a link to Aurelio's website in the description below, and you can contact him for medical care, and he'll come right to your house, and that's why he's called Doctor at Home, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Doc. And
Thanks to you, Bill.
oh no problem. And we hope to have you back. We need to get together again, maybe in November or December, to see how everything is going.
Perfect. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Adios.
Adios.
I want to thank Aurelio for the time that he spent with us today. And if you get to Puerto Vallarta and you feel a little ill and you need a doctor, all of his contact information is below in the description. He has a great website, and he lists all of his prices to visit you at your hotel or at your home. Again, if you like the video, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in our next video.